and welcome back to the Talking Wolves podcast. I'm your host, Matt Cooper, and today I'm in esteemed company as usual. We'll start with the main man himself, Dave Azzopardi. Dave, how you doing? Oh, look at Finn's head drop. On the last pod, but now he's...
I'm good. I thought you were going to go to Finn and
Finn was like the Roy Hodgson gift then, you know? You're good, Dave, yeah?
Yeah, all good though. Thank you, mate. Yeah, all good.
And Finn, how you doing, son?
I'm all right, thank you, despite being relegated, yeah.
It's all right. We've got a chance to claw back pride during this podcast. We've got quite a lot to go through, considering we've only played one game since our last pod. The last pod was after the Leeds game, and we were all down in the dumps, and then we've gone to pump the Villa 2-1. So as you can tell by the tone in my voice, I'm lifted and I'm dead happy. But we'll be looking at that game. We'll be looking ahead to Newcastle. We'll be looking ahead to the rest of the season. Can we get European qualification? We'll be doing some quick maths on that. We'll also be taking your questions and also a guess a player in a new look quiz. But gents, let's start with Saturday. Villa come to town. I wasn't confident, and that just shows I have no clue about football, Dave.
Yeah, I think pretty much every Wolves or every Villa fan would have taken a draw before the game, I reckon. I said it on the match preview with matey boy from Birmingham Live. Sorry, Matt, I forgot his name. Yeah, and he said the same. So, I was a little bit nervous coming into it, but you know what? If you ignore last season, we have a pretty good record against the Villa since our promotion again. So, it was up until sort of the last 10 minutes or so where it started to get a bit nervy. We were in complete control. It was a really good, positive performance, bearing in mind we were missing two of our key players. So really, really happy with how we got on, really. And big 3 points for the lads.
Yeah, I wasn't very confident coming into the game, but I had a conversation with someone on the Friday night and I said, okay, take away the fact it's Villa, say it's Southampton coming to town. Same form, same team, same management, same position in the league. And I think we beat them. But because it's got Aston Villa on the kit, I was bricking it, Finn. I don't know how you were feeling.
Yeah, and I think there's an element of, for me anyway, the lingering feeling of Leeds once it's an international break, and you've got that sort of negative, like last emotion lingering. I think Villa were favourites as well with the bookies, so it was all pointing to a negative result. And you could say, when we get into it, Villa gifted us a few opportunities and obviously goals as well. Still, I think we played really, really well as well, but they helped us along the way, as Wolves' TikTok pointed out today as well. If anyone hasn't seen that. But no, it's Wolves recently, to quote the great man, have been a roller coaster. So it's up 1 week, down the next, and then we're up again at the moment. So happy days.
Start with the lineup, Dave. Marcel coming in. Silva being thrown into the mix with him and has been suspended. I believe Bolly came in as well, and then Donker for Neves. I saw that lineup and I said to you boys, like, God, what's he doing? And to be fair to Dave, he said, I like that. I don't mind it. What out of that lineup did you like in hindsight, Dave?
Well, obviously, I think we all pretty much knew Fabio was going to start. I think if Bruno hadn't have experimented against Palace, that front three of like Hwang, Trincao and Neto, we may well have seen that. Or similar, or Hwang, Pedence, Neto, or whatever. But obviously, we tried that, didn't work. So I think we all knew that Fabio was going to get a go. And I think with how attacking that front three can be, I think you still do need a little bit of defensive solidity at the back. And I think Marcel obviously offers that. Saying that, Ait Nouri's still defensive numbers are good. I'm not too sure what's going on with him still at the moment. I don't know if his fitness is an issue or whether there's something behind the scenes that Bruno still doesn't quite like about him. And the back three, Bolly in for Saïss. And I think that's... I don't dislike Saïss. I haven't disliked his performances, but there were a lot of people saying that ever since AFCON, he's slowed down a little bit. So that back three is something that I really, really like. Kilman, Cody, Bolly. And bar one or two openings for Villa, I thought they coped really, really well. And the middle two as well. I mean, Dendoncker Martino, it's not something that I'd go out my way to pick if I was the manager, if I'm honest. But gotta say, I thought Donk had a really, really solid game. But Martino was just a class above again.
Yeah, I agree, mate. It's funny you should say that about AFCON, though, because Saïss has struggled since he's come back. And then there's been other players, more high-profile players in the league, such as Salah, who say struggled. He still scored goals, but hasn't been himself. Mendy at Chelsea as well. I wonder what it is. I wonder whether it's just a complete coincidence.
Delayed jet lag, possibly. I don't know.
I don't know. I don't think that's the thing, mate, if I'm totally honest.
Missing the laser pointers, that's it.
Yeah, perhaps we get some laser pointers in the North Bank and say it'll be all right. But
should have had that, after the Ollie Watkins penalty. Yeah.
Well, I mean, we'll come on to the penalty because it's a strange one. I'm still quite undecided. My DPD bloke who delivers parcels here, who's a Wolves fan, he'd probably listen actually. He's adamant that it's not a penalty, but I don't know. But we'll come on to that. But Finn, Dendoncker and Moutinho in the middle. In the middle, did an absolute did an absolute job, didn't they?
Unbelievable. Dendoncker was like a different bloke. He looked trimmer, he looked more agile. I think he rouletted someone on the edge of our own box about halfway through the first half, and I thought, right, this is a different bloke here. I was praising him, and then at the first time I outwardly praised him, like with my mouth, to the whole North Bank, he then whacked the ball. Sorry, no, didn't. You know what I mean? With my speech.
Yeah, okay, right.
He deserved it, but but no, literally, Dendoncker's having a great game here, and then he whacked the ball straight into Bolly. So I sort of
I saw that on your vlog. That was funny, actually.
Yeah.
Dendoncker is a different man. He just smacked it off Bolly's head.
Bang. Have it. But no, it was vintage Moutinho, as we've seen a lot more this season. Aging like a fine wine. And Dendoncker, honestly, was a man possessed. I never think he plays well in a 2. And I think, did he play in a 2 against Leeds as well? Leeds away earlier on in the season. I thought, God, that's the last time we ever see him in a 2. And I was proven wrong. He was fantastic.
He looked angry though, man. Like, he looked like a man with a point to prove. He was aggressive. He's been a little bit powder puff at times this season, but he was there, man. He was raring to go. You say he's a changed man, but when that chance comes for him, and we're just right in front of me. It's like almost when Traore goes for on goal. You know, there's only one outcome, and it's going to end up in row M. And everyone around me was like, "Fucking hell, then don't."
The thing is, if he just showed the way Villa were diving into challenges and stuff, if he just showed that little bit of composure and then brought it back onto his right foot, that defender would have committed, and he had the whole goal to aim at then.
That's what I was, because people go, no, it's on his weak foot. I was going, well, he had time. It's not like he had to take the shot then. He had so much time,
Yeah, but he just looked confident on the ball, and it wasn't just him. It was Trincao, who, by the way, after the West Ham game, I think I said on the podcast, I'd be surprised to never see him wear a Wolves shirt again, and he's definitely proved me wrong the last 2 games. But him and then Dendoncker just looked like so much confidence on the ball. Donk just didn't look like, by that shot, he didn't look like he was panicking on the ball. He was just having loads of little touches and, working his way out of trouble. And I think bar once or twice, just the team as a whole, this playing out of defence thing is starting to really, really click. I think there was one instance where Marcel just didn't really have an option and overplayed it and led to a decent Villa chance. But other than that, really, really solid.
Yeah, then Dendoncker was great. He's him and Moutinho just stopped that passing line to Coutinho all game, and you see how deep Coutinho was having to drop to try and pick the ball up. And as good as he is, he's not going to hurt you from there. And I think Wolves completely nullified Villa's biggest threat apart from Coutinho in Matty Cash, who under Gerrard has been excellent, really. A lot of the play comes from the right-hand side, but Wolves just kind of led Villa up kind of cul-de-sacs, thwarted so many attacks and won the ball back and countered really well. And they countered well for the first goal, didn't they, Dave, with the slip from McGinn? Moutinho's broke forward. He did that 2 or 3 occasions. I don't know, he must have had his Weetabix in the morning. Plays a bit of a hospital ball over to Pedence. Conser falls on his arse. I thought when the shot got blocked and Silva's shot got blocked, I thought, fucking hell, it's going to be one of them afternoons. And then Johnny, who's turned into a season talisman, absolute centre forwards finish, and angles it into the top corner. What a finish!
The technique on that finish was unbelievable. But we just took advantage of their mistakes. Both slips. Like you said, Moutinho driving forward, and that's what he was doing. It wasn't just he was doing an all-round midfielder's job. He was doing those driving runs that Neves has been making over the last few weeks. He'd been, dictating the tempo of the game and being that middleman to get the ball from one side of the pitch to the other. And again, Pedence, just like his normal self, just almost indecisive when he's got that little bit too much time. Fabio, I would obviously loved him to have scored, but you know what, Johnny, what a strike that is. And Emi Martinez on his day can be a very good goalkeeper, but when you're hitting him as sweet as that, you're going to beat him 9 times out of 10. So brilliant goal, and for him to score 2 in 2 is unheard of. Imagine if you had Johnny first goal scorer again.
I mean, I really like Semedo. I think he's a cracking player, and we'll probably come on to this a little bit later. But for me, for Johnny's performances the last 3 or 4 games, Semedo's going to find it really tough to get into this team. I don't know what you feel about it, Finn, but I just feel like Johnny is almost in the biggest possible compliment, is almost like a Doc 2.0 in terms of right place, right time. However, he can actually defend, he can actually retain possession, he can do everything.
Yeah, which was something you probably criticised previous Johnny about. I think Wolves tweeted that in his first 99 games he scored 3 goals, mostly off the left a bit.
You could say he's Johnny got on 2. The spot, couldn't you, really?
There it is.
We'll collect the dad.
I thought about putting in my video, here's Johnny, and I thought, no.
No, it was so many
but no, yeah, as good as Semedo has been, I'm pretty sure it's 0 goals, 0 assists for the season so far. And then Johnny comes in and does this. And I always felt he was hampered on the left. I always felt there was more to him. He just couldn't. I mean, at the end of the day, he's on his weak foot, isn't he? Trying to, volley him in from that angle or cross it in. But we've got good competition there, because it was crossing my mind as well. Could you move him over to the left after I've just said we shouldn't? But you could move over to the left and put Semedo in as well if he isn't fancying Aït-Nouri. You've basically got 5 wing backs now and Johnny that can play on either side. So it's very, very stiff competition. Is that the one? Johnny and stiff competition. We'll add that in there. There's a joke in there somewhere. I'll back off and say, great performance.
The wing back position is an intriguing one with Marcel going back to Brazil, and I think the left back next season will be Giles, and I think it'll be Giles and Aït-Nouri, with Bruno already saying how he thinks Giles is on the same level as Aït-Nouri, which is a bit strange, almost for me, a message to Aït-Nouri to pull his finger out. As Dave's alluded to earlier, there might be something going on there, we don't know. And I think it'll be Johnny on the right and a backup. I think it'll be Keanu Hoover. I don't think Semedo will be here. I really don't. I think they'll extend his contract because they can trigger it for a year and they'll go to Atletico Madrid.
Bosh. Well, and get your money back. If they offered you 30 mil now, you take it.
They'd take 25, wouldn't you, really? I really like Semedo. I think he's been brilliant this season. But I think
it depends on our European qualification, because if we can get into Europe this season, because we've still got 7-8 games left. If we can sneak into Europe this season, I think having a wing back option of Johnny and Semedo on the same side would be ridiculously good.
It would be, but then you've got to think.
Well, I would buy another left wing back, because I wouldn't have Aït-Nouri and Giles as my 2 left wing backs.
Would you not?
Nah.
But then Johnny can play on the left, can't he? So there's your cover. I know what you mean. You want someone a bit more speedy or a different profile, because I feel like they're a little bit of the same player. That's just what I feel. I just think it could happen. I know they've got that Vrasko. Is it Vrasko? Right wing up at
Vrsaljko,
is it? Yeah, who plays for
them?
He's
about 40, he's been going on years.
He is 30, and I know that they're after Matty Cash. So, but he signed a new deal at Villa. I don't know. I just feel like
he has
Johnny and Semedo will want to be playing week in, week out, and with Johnny's form, he gets a nod ahead for me. But let's talk about Fabio Silva, lads. Almost a baptism of fire for him. I thought he was excellent. I thought he led the line with real maturity. He bullied Konsa and Mings. Well, it's easy to bully Mings, but Konsa's a very good centre-half, I feel. And he did a job on them all day. But Finn, it was just nice to see a little bit different kind of dynamism. He came short as much as he went long, didn't he? It was a joke in there as well, where if you want
to resist them all. Family friendly talking Wolves. But no, I thought he was brilliant. Just everything but a goal. Probably should have scored one of his few chances, to be fair. The one where he did do Mings on the outside. I remember, was it Southampton at home where he tried that sort of outside of the foot finish? I thought it was lined up for something like that. But it'll come. Yeah, exactly. But it'll come. There's another one.
can have a wanker, so mate. Bloody, I'll get it.
We're talking about football. I thought, great performance. It felt a little bit like, because Mings is so big, yet doesn't use it. He's not as strong as he looks, is he? It felt like, like in Back to the Future, where he like beats up the guy to impress the girl, but the guy's letting him. It's like Mings looks big, so it looks impressive that he's beating Mings, but it's not actually that impressive. It's a weird one.
Pushover though. Like he's not a
no. He did well, but when it's like, wow, he's bullying 6'5" Mings, and all you've got to do is just give him a little shoulder. But great performance. But as you say, one getting in the England team, and arguably Conte, who probably should be getting in over Mings, and he did brilliantly against them. In behind, coming into feet as well. So more of the same we've got for at least another game, haven't we? With no Raul, and then after that, it could be up for grabs, that position.
The chance in the first half, though, it was like almost directly behind me. And to be fair to Martinez, he narrowed the angle really well. He kind of made Silva's mind up for him, but he hit the target. You can't ask for much more. You can score. But Dave, what did you think of his performance? I thought he was excellent and silenced some unjust critics, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I've been a huge fan of him since day one, and always wanted him to succeed here. And I'm glad that he obviously got that opportunity and did well. Like you said, Finn, the chance against Mings, did well there. I was looking at it. I think, like you said, Martinez did really well. If it was me, I probably would have smashed it. But I'm not a striker. That's cost 35 million, so I don't know, Jack. But the chance in the second half, he did well, created it all on his own. Really nice curling effort towards goal, and obviously tested Martinez again. But I'm glad probably 95% of people on social media seem to actually appreciate the performance, or a lot of people that had been giving him stick who actually sort of held their hands up and said he played well. And it wasn't just his play in front of goal, it was his all-round hold-up play, bringing the ball out from our own half into the Villa half, and just really tidy football. I think picked up some nice positions. I saw one bloke that said he was wasteful and made no runs. I was like, I don't know what game you were watching.
I honestly think, have you watched the same game as me? Like, I don't feel like I'm a
his runs. I think his runs are so. The only time he could have probably done a little bit better was the time when Matinho broke into the box on his own, and Fabio was there. But I think the Villa, credit to the Villa defense, I think they dealt with that quite well. But yeah, he did really, really well. And just in general, I think the way he brought Podence and Trincao both into the game, I think, the three, young, I was going to say fairly young players. Podence is probably a little bit older than we think, but three, Portuguese players that still want to prove a point. I don't think any of them are guaranteed a spot in this team, because you've got Neto, you've got Hwang, you've got Jimenez, you've got players that are links as well. So they all want to prove a point, and he did really, really well. The one chance I wish we did better at, and I'd listened to the Wolves commentary since, was the one where we broke free and Trincao had the ball on his right foot and should have just whipped it across the pitch and then come back onto his left foot and allowed Villa to get back. I think he tried to play it across to Podence and we lost it. So I wish we did a little bit better with that. But yeah, overall, top performance.
Talking of Trincao, I'm going to go full 180. I want to see him in a Wolves shirt next season. I don't know what it is, man. There's just something about him, and I feel like he's going to be the one that got away, more so than Vitinha. I don't think he's a Barcelona player, especially the way they play now. I think Adama's a lot more suited to Barcelona than Trincao is, which is what I'm hoping for.
What a sentence that. You wouldn't have thought that at the start of the season.
No, I know, but under Xavi, they're almost having kind of close build-up play on one side, and the wingers are holding the width, and they're doing a massive switch and getting the wingers one-on-one with the fullbacks now. Ousmane Dembele is playing out of his skin, and probably one-on-one he's one of, if not the best wingers in the world for me. Adama Traore, in terms of getting the ball past the player again, one of the best, but his final product lets him down. So that's what I'm hoping for. But I don't know, like, there's just the last two games have really filled me with encouragement for Trincao. He's in the category of the Mahrez player that just nice to watch. Just technique is absolutely outstanding. And it's still, is he 22, 23? I still think there's a real player in there, and people are going to say, I don't know what I'm on about, which is fair enough. He's not shown enough to warrant 30 million, but I don't know. I just like him as a player. I really like him. I don't know how you boys feel.
Yeah, he played with a lot more confidence this weekend. Like, obviously, he came into the Leeds game. You know, the Leeds game in particular, the confidence he had, obviously, to try that shot from range to begin with. You know, the one that hit the woodwork and bounced back out. Yeah, and just little stuff like the step overs against the Villa. You know, he gets the ball on the edge of the area and he's doing 3 or 4 step overs and turning his man. And you know, I think he's sort of. It's not just him, it's Pedence, it's Fabio, it's Wang. You know, everyone just needs to pull the trigger a little bit sooner, I think, and just have a little bit more confidence in themselves. Because I think he was guilty of that as well, Trincao. But I can see where you're coming from, Matt. I'm not quite fully, sign him, but I'm leaning towards it a lot more now.
From the Kool-Aid, mate, get him in.
But the same thing, if Barcelona now come with an offer saying, right, we want Adama, would you do a straight swap for Trincao? I think the percentage of Wolves fans that would say yes to that deal is slowly but surely getting a lot bigger.
I think we're almost forgetting about Traore right now. Like, we've had the breakup, we've slept around a little. We're all right. We're over.
Had a few dates.
Yeah, we're over. You know, we've been to Nando's a couple of times with a few other birds, and we're all right. Like, we wish him well. That's how I kind of feel about Adama at the minute.
You've been on too many nights out with Cavallero and Bonatini.
And Trincao. Yeah. So, how do you feel about it, Finn? He's 22 years of age, mate, and we've got to remember that as well. Like, he's a young lad coming to a new league. I'm really trying to sell it now. Mendes, he said to me, I'm on commissions.
Been on a few dates with Trincao, yeah, but he still can't do that thing I like that Traore could do. It's very different, isn't he? Like, I am coming round to it.
What is that thing that Traore can do in this instance?
Cross it into the North Bank.
Oh, right.
But that's his first touch, right? I was thinking at the Villa game, I don't think I've seen a player at Wolves with a better first touch than Trincao. I'm massively overhyping him because the last 2 better. His first touch is phenomenal. And that's 25 million right there. I think with the Adama deal, it's like at the start of the season, would you have taken a straight swap for Trincao? No. But with the situation we've got ourselves into, I'm leaning more towards it because we shouldn't have done what we've done in January, being bent over by Barca to put them in quite a strong position. So with how it's going, with Trincao slowly improving and that situation with Adama looking like we might be very stuck, it sort of leads to that Trincao swap for me. And I'm like you say, I'm leaning towards it.
Yeah, I think, it could get to a situation where Wolves are umming and ahhing come the summer, and then Barca are like, right, we don't want to sign Adama, and Adama comes back and doesn't want to sign at Wolves again, doesn't want to sign a new deal, and then we're stuck. So we're going to lose Adama on a free. So I think Wolves might be sort of dealt their hand really by Barca, but I think these performances are, a lot more promising, and I think 1 or 2 more of these by Trincao over the next few weeks, and I think a much bigger percentage of the Wolves fans will be on board with it.
Look at it from a business point of view as well. You've got one asset that you own that's out of contract in a year. Who's, what is he, 25, Adama? 25, 26?
26, I think. Yeah.
Who doesn't want to be there, who valued at roughly 25 million pound. You've got a player who's 22, who's younger, valued at roughly the same, has had similar impact in terms of goals and assists for Adama. It makes sense, doesn't it? Otherwise, you're going to have Adama come back and he's going to be worth what? 20 million tops, 15 million at a push. You're going to sell him for more than that with a year left of his deal.
Trincao's ceiling, I would say, is higher than Adama's right now as well. A lot higher. So, yeah, I think you're right.
Odd one. Marcel the weekend was fantastic, though.
Mate, can you think of more than one game where he's been poor this season? Genuinely.
Sometimes he's got a first touch like a curb. That's my only.
Well, that's why when Finn said about Trincao's first touch, if we go back to the West Ham one, I was slagging off Trincao's first touch.
No, honestly,
I know what he means. He's just majestic, isn't he? He's little.
He looks like he doesn't give a shit, Trincao.
Yeah,
he just
that's the problem.
Body language is everything.
Yeah,
that's the problem.
But yeah, Marcel, what a performance, man!
Got an assist as well, didn't he? Nice ball in.
Yeah,
great ball into the corridor of uncertainty.
Oh, nice. Nice.
Birdshit mouth heads it in. You love to see
it. Never ever trust a bloke. And I'm looking at Ashley Young and Demba Baria, who voluntarily shave their head, like bick their own head, because they've both got full heads of hair. Like,
Demba Ba?
have you not seen Demba Ba now?
I'm Googling it, mate.
Have a Google.
I saw one recently, yeah. But whether is it not a quick trip to Turkey?
I don't think so. If it is, then
Demba
you see it,
Ba?
Dave.
He needs a raise.
Oi. That now with the little afro.
Yeah,
looks
they
about 20
voluntarily bick their own head. Like, he's an absolute psychopath.
Yeah, but they might have a poor hairline in it. Demba Ba looks well different.
He looks good, man. He looks good.
Looking well.
He
Looking well,
does,
Denver.
does.
If you're
Well,
listening.
hope you're well, Denver, if you're listening. Second half, though, we don't make things easy for ourselves, do we? Like, as soon as the pressure started mounting and they were coming forward, I thought, and Buendia did do well when he come on, to be fair to him. But we're gonna have another lead here, Finn. I was like, I can't cope with this. I cannot cope.
It felt like that, didn't it? And especially, I think there'd be more uproar about the penalty if it had led to us dropping any points, like not taking all three. But yeah, Buendia changed the game. I think it was Cody did an interview saying about how the tactic was to keep them outside, not let the ball get inside to Coutinho. It was something about that. I can't remember what he was saying. But Buendia, sort of on those tired legs that we'd stopped Coutinho for 75, 80 minutes. Then he came on fresh and they were really struggling. For me, that penalty, I was right in front of it. I think we in the North Bank as well, Matt. You would have been right by it as well. I just assumed it was a foul on Sarr. I don't think it's that. I wouldn't go, oh, if anything, it was a foul on Sarr. I just can't see. If you watch that back on a video, I can see why the ref's given it. But if you watch that back, you can see that Watkins has won the ball and then can go for the ball, but jumps into Sarr to make the contact. And especially when we've had a striker-goalkeeper collision 2 weeks before, in the game before, that it seems to purely just be down to who gets there first, because it's a striker colliding with a goalkeeper. Both times a striker sort of initiating it, but in the two different ways, someone else got the ball, and that's a red card, a yellow card for the striker in one situation, and then a penalty for the striker in another. So it's a sore one. I'm just glad it didn't.
Watkins knows, though, if he gets the first touch, he's won a penalty.
It's so stupid.
Sarr's come out against Spurs and done that before, hasn't he? He's just sort of
that one was a penalty.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. I don't know how I feel about it, Dave. Like I think it's soft. Like, I think it's really soft. Like, he's ran into Sarr. It's a coming together. But in this day and age, I think you'd be fuming if you're a Wolves fan and Jimenez has nicked it past and the keeper's in. I don't know. Like, I can see why he's giving it. But what they should have done is not give it and take it to VAR. Because they're never going to overturn that because it isn't clear and obvious.
Yeah, I think you're right. I'm still umming and ahhing about it as well. I can't decide. Like Finn said, I can see why the referee's giving it, and I can see both sides really. I think from a, like you say, if we had that, Fabio went, beat Martinez to the ball and went down, I would have wanted a penalty. So yeah. I see it from on both sides. I think it's one of those. If the referee gives it, the VAR ain't overturning it because I don't think it is clear and obvious. But if that happened against City, I'm sure it wouldn't have got given. It's one of those really. But yeah, like you say, I don't think it's been on social media a little bit, but it hasn't been spoke about as much as probably the Melier and Jimenez incident did, because obviously the penalty didn't cost us. He almost missed it, by the way. That would have been unbelievable if it hadn't gone in. The penalty.
He missed a couple of sitters as well. To be fair,
that one, the big one when it went through our defensive line and he went in on goal. I was adamant that was in the back of the net, and that would have been like with a good half an hour or so, if not more, to play. That's when it would have been nervy.
And that's the thing. Like, as much as we played well defensively, we got caught out a couple of times with just like simple balls over the top, like in between centre halves. It's got to be better than that. Because on another day, we would have got punished.
But then at the same time, we had a lot of our own chances as well that we should have, we should have buried. I think the game overall was a lot more open, and we've seen that. I think I worked out in our last 4 games, if I'm right, we scored 9 goals, which equates to a good chunk of our goals.
Spurs who have scored more goals, or Liverpool?
Spurs and Liverpool, that was it.
Oh, since the start of the year, yeah.
So when that came up on screen, I was like, that's wrong. It's got to be.
Yeah.
I'd be interested to see it in the last few games, to be fair, because we scored a good amount, and yes, we are conceding just that little bit more, but I think we won't mind if we do have to open up a little bit to start scoring more goals. So be it. We just need to try and get these wins.
Yeah. Going on to Betmate, lads. So it was a free to enter pot. Just looking at some of the winners here. 4th, Jamie Duffel. 3, Key Barker, Talking Wolves contributor.
That, didn't he?
Yeah, ZR Wall 2nd, and top is Matt Cooper. Up the walls. Dave is absolutely fuming. Look at
you know why I'm fuming though? You know why I'm fuming? Finn, let me tell you a story here, Finn. So I had to meet Matt before the games, drop something off for him. And when we were walking
he's made it sound like it was. It wasn't.
Yeah, it might be. As we were walking towards the ground, I said, "Oh, let me sort my bet, mate." And I told Matt my team verbally, and Matt said, "Yeah, I think that's the same as my team." And when I get home and he's won it, and he's got John McGinn as captain, what's going on there? So he lied to me. Unless he changed it in the ground.
How have you won? Didn't he get booked and all sorts?
No, mate, he just ran the game. Well, I don't know. It's to do with tackles and that everything in it.
Well,
I think he should have points deducted for slipping, really. Giving away.
I did a bit of research 100%. Prior to the game, and I've almost changed tact with how I'm doing this. So I'm gonna let you into a bit of a Matt Cooper Betmate masterclass here, kind of like the coach's voice with Matt Cooper.
I'm listening.
So I think you've almost, and Dave will echo this, you've almost got to put your cock on the block and go with one team, pick 4 players from one team.
Yeah.
Which I didn't, but that's my theory. Well, I picked 4 players from Wolves, but perhaps maybe I'd have picked 5. But look at players who have got high tackles and interceptions per 90, which is what I did with John McGinn. And I captained him, and he got 6 tackles and 2 interceptions, which is quite high. And that's how I won it. And I took home £40. Because when I refreshed the app, I thought it was like a glitch. I thought like I'd gone straight to the top because I couldn't get any internet. But it turns out I've won it. So I think that settles the debate. Who knows more about football?
We've got to wait till the end of the season. The highest standings.
Yeah, but like,
just give it a chance. Yeah, but if I win the next 2 weeks, are you still going to say you're still the Betmate champ?
I was first here, mate. My flag.
When you said tackles, Finn's eyes lit up anyway. So
talking about John McGinn's tackle.
Tiny.
Have you seen that picture of Morgan Sanson with his Roger?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. There's someone.
Send me after, please.
Yeah. Did he play for Lyon or Marseille? Was it Marseille?
Yeah, Marseille.
Yeah. A picture of him being like tackled, and he's like his cock falling out his shorts.
Not real, not a crease. Because the guy on TikTok, he does like, is it the actual thing or is it just a crease in the shorts? Because there's an Mbappe one recently where it turns out it was a crease.
I mean, looking at my creases in my shorts, I don't look like foreskin, so I can pretty much guarantee.
I also
say
Thanks,
again.
Mate.
I'll send it Finn now.
As HD as you can, please.
Not safe for work.
Really, so.
I came second on the Magpie channel pot as well, who have recently partnered with Betmate, one of our friends at Talking Wolves. So it's a really good week for me. Won like £56.50. All for it to come crashing down. I had to go on the Inter game as well. I was like 4th with like 10 minutes to go. I couldn't believe it. And then I finished about 15th. But how's that humble pie taste, David? Are you enjoying it?
Well, this is my team for the Newcastle game. This is going to win. This is the one that's going to win.
Let's go on to the Newcastle game. But
yeah.
We'll talk. Tell us about your team in a sec, Dave. But
yeah,
£3 in for this game on Betmate. You can find it via the homepage on the app, and it's your chance to win a share of £200. And we are teaming up this one. It's a joint pot with Newcastle fan channel YI. It's the Magpie channel. Matty Renton, who'll be on the preview as well. It's almost like a head-to-head. We want to see as many of you Wolves bods in the top 6, including Dave. That includes you, mate. So put a shift in.
Pressure's on.
We want to see as many of you in the top 6 because we want to beat these. We want to beat them off the pitch and we want to beat them on the pitch. But Dave, tell me your team and how you're going to... It's going to be a Maltese masterclass come Friday.
There is. Well, what you haven't mentioned as well, Matt, is that there is a forfeit if me or Matt finish below either of the Magpie boys. So if whoever finishes bottom out of there's me and Matt, and then there's Matty and Keg from the Magpie channel. Whoever finishes bottom has to wear the opposition shirt on the next podcast. So if I finish lowest out of everyone, I have to wear a Newcastle shirt on the next pod. So pressure's on, really. New piece of Castor gear, though. So, never goes amiss. I've got like Bruno Lage's wardrobe.
I'll go full out, go for a Newcastle Brown classic.
It's a Castor derby.
Yeah. The Castor and the Betmate derby and the 1-1 derby. That's another one.
We should have done the same team, Dave, really, and then been like in the hope that we both just finish above. Because if
this is the winning team. No, mine's a
This
winning
is
team.
team.
So
Go on,
I've gone
mate.
with
Talk us through it.
I've gone Jose Sarr in goal, as you do.
Where
Gone with Johnny,
you?
Kilman, but yeah, might change.
Yeah.
Bruno Guimaraes,
Nice.
Daniel Budins,
Nice.
Fabio Silva, and Chris Wood.
When's he going to get going for England? I've gone with, and this is my team, and off the back of a massive win, I'm feeling quite confident. I've gone with the 5 Wolves players in the lineup. So in goal, I've gone Jose Sarr. I've gone with Marcel and Johnny, purely based on tackles, interceptions, and both of them look like nicking a goal or an assist. Marcel may change if Aït-Nouri plays. In the midfield, and this is where I think I'm going to pick up some serious points, Joe Linton, captain. The bloke is a machine. He's revitalised under Eddie Howe. Tackles, interceptions, he's your man. Then
look, have you seen his points the last few games?
Mate, let's discuss
He's got like 2 points every game.
He makes like 6 or 7 tackles and interceptions a game.
Yeah, but his points on Betmate, Gash.
Well, we shall see. Then Donker is my vice captain, bold. And then Alan St. Maximan and Silva up top. What do you reckon of them St. Maximan links today? I know they were absolute bollocks, but would you?
I was going to say, if you get a Newcastle shirt with St. Maximan on, Dave, it saves you for next year.
I don't know, man. I'd love to see him at Wolves just for I'd buy a Gucci headband. But
I can't believe he's been snubbed for Gucci, by the way.
I think he's too much like a Dharma. I don't think that's the direction we want to go in. And again, I think he's a bit of a sick note.
I've just seen that picture of Sanson, and it actually looks like a roll over hot dog. How much would they want for him? Like 50 odd million? They'd want money.
They want to make the money back, obviously, plus more. But I think he's a bit of a sick note, and his last couple of months he's been poor apparently. So,
and he wants a new contract, and if they can't afford it, how can we? What he wants?
I think they can afford
unlimited money.
I don't know. I think they can afford it.
With it, aren't they?
Yeah. I think that's what it is. They're going in, as they grow, they want to go in a certain direction. And if he's going to be a little bit like Adama, I think he is the star of the show when he necessarily isn't. That's what it is. But I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what happens. But no, I'm not fully convinced. If you asked me 3 or 4 months ago, I would be all over it. But at the moment, I'm not fully convinced.
Is he better than Francisco Trincao? I don't think he is. That's where my money would be going. No, okay. No comment. He'd be good for the 5 games he'd play though, wouldn't he? Because he'd be unfit for the rest of them. He's constantly crocked.
That's what I mean. You don't want players like that.
I think they're going about it the right way though. I think a lot of fans thought Newcastle would be doing a QPR when they just try and sign washed up
Clint Hill,
Julio Cesar, and and who else did they? Good. Chris Samba. They went down. Can't be that good.
Yeah. Was Cesar? Did he go down?
Yeah, he was like 50 odd. Yeah. He left at the end of the season. They had Abate right back. They had Taiwo as well.
Yeah, TV Taiwo, whatever his name is.
Was that Vargas? Was he the time after as well, the striker? I liked him.
Gibril Cisse, mate, we were throwing him. No, they stayed up for the 1 season, man, didn't they? Because they played against City when they won the league against United, didn't they?
I'm just looking
Joey
at
Barton got sent off, didn't he?
So they had Julio Cesar. I'm just picking out some names. Chris Samba, Armand Traore, Basingwa, Fabio, Tal Ben-Haim, Sean Wright-Phillips, Genus, Hoylett, Townsend, Stefan Umbia, Loic Remy. And the season before, they took Cisse out on loan, Anton Ferdinand. It just brought shit though, didn't
they? If you told me true or false, did this player play for QPR? Half of them I would have said no. I didn't know half of them played for QPR. Like Stefan and Beer and that. I didn't know that he played for QPR.
Oh, yeah. I remember it. Did they have Luongo then? Because I met him on a train recently.
Massimo.
Yeah, Massimo Luongo.
Yeah, he was championship days though, wasn't he?
What a bloke. Yeah.
What would you
Where's
like?
he from again? He's foreign, isn't he? Like New Zealand.
Either New Zealand or Australia. I can't remember. I think it's Australia. He was nice. He was Balenciaga'd head to toe, and he took up the whole 4 thing. And I waited until I was getting off because I didn't want to but then as I was getting off, loads of people were like, "Oh, who was that?" Because I had a chat with him.
How did you recognise Massimo Luongo?
So mate, My football knowledge, I knew Massimo. Basically, I thought, that looks like Massimo Luongo, and then he went on the phone. He's like, all right, nice shrimp on the barbie. Mate, it confirms it, doesn't it, when he pulls out the Aussie accent? So it would have been embarrassing. Massimo? No, mate. But no, yeah, it worked. Great player.
Where's he from again? That's so niche. I wouldn't recognise Massimo Luongo.
Nah, Google him. He's a recognisable boy, and then the Australian accent. But yeah, he was a lovely fella. Said he wishes Wolves all the best.
Didn't they? Adel Tarat, Park Ji-sung, Samba Diakite, some team that was. Anyway, Wolves versus Newcastle on Friday night. How do you reckon we're going to get on here, lads? I'm feeling confident. I really am. Newcastle.
Am I the only one going?
Sorry. Yeah, I'm not going. I've got a job, haven't I? So I can't get up there. Just looking now, they've lost the last 3. They've got 6 points out of a possible 15. Sliding a little bit. They're under how they had a bit of a bounce in there, a banging form, but they seem to have fallen off. I think they'll be safe purely because the teams below and probably won't pick up any points. But they've got to win this. Have to win this. If we're serious about what we're doing this season, we've got to win it.
Yeah, if the club want European football, we've got to beat these. You look at the table right now. Obviously, United dropping points again over the weekend. We beat Leeds a couple of weeks ago. We would have been in a phenomenal position right now. So yeah, these are the type of games you've got to win, especially with Ab running sort of end of this month, early next month, with some of the teams that we've still got to play. So, but we always draw 1-1 against Newcastle. So if you want to chuck a little bit of money at this game, that's probably a safe bet. But I hope I'm wrong. Hart is saying a 2-0 win.
Finn, are you confident about this? I'll take it you're going, boy. Junior boy, comments.
Yeah, I think so. I do work, but I'm having the day off.
Oh, okay.
And then it's my dad's birthday on the Saturday, so on the coach back, it's going to be like happy birthday. Does your annual leave
reset in April or January?
April.
See, I always feel a little bit hesitant about booking annual leave like a couple of days after the new financial year because I'm always it's a bit too soon. Like I feel like I've got nothing left. So you know what? Fair play to you.
Yeah. But I don't think is it going to be worth it? As Dave says, I've seen a lot of 1-1 draws with them. They just feel like a new club, don't they? And before that Spurs game, I didn't know they'd lost like 2 before that. I thought when it was like 2-1, 3-1 against Spurs, I thought, this is good. Dent their confidence because they've been flying. Then I figured out they hadn't been flying. And then when it hit 4-5-1, I thought, God, this is at the point where it's going to be, Newcastle bounce back next game with a big reaction, which is what scares me. But from listening to their fans, they're hating Chris Wood up front. So Maximin hasn't really been around the last few games, as we were saying. Joe Linton now, if you picked up Matt now, box-to-box midfielder, previously a £40 million striker. So it's interesting. I don't think Trippier is back, is he, in time? So there's not much to really scare you in that team. Bruno hasn't really had much of a look so far, but whether they'll give him his second start. So I'm interested to see how it goes, but it doesn't really scare me if there's a out of form St. Maximin. I think he's back now, but not, as we say, not doing very well. Chris Wood, I think, as you say, if we want to be in Europe, you've got to win these sorts of games. So
Spurs did a really good job on St. Maximin. Doubled up on him really well and pretty much marked him out of the game.
And we play that same system, so it should be easy transfer.
As long as your wingers are coming back, then you should be fine. You'll pat the midfield out because he'll only turn into turning field anyway, and hopefully turn into trouble. That's what I'm planning with him. But I feel confident, and if we are going to be serious about trying to get that seventh place spot, then these are the games you've got to be winning. We've got Brighton coming up again, a winnable game. Burnley coming up, a winnable game. Then you've got some really tough fixtures against Man City, Liverpool, Chelsea. Like those last 3 are the ones where you're going to drop points. The other games, you have to win. Even a draw, I'd be disappointed with. But you're right, Finn. It's going to go one or two ways. They're going to have that bounce back and a reaction from the performance at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, or they're already going to be on the beach. Knowing our luck, it's probably going to be the former rather than the latter. But do you change anything, or do you just go same team?
I was going to say stick to the same team.
I would have said Ait-Nouri for Marcel, but after Marcel's performance, I think you've got to give him another go.
Keep the consistency. Played well with that team. I'd go with that again.
Shouldn't be tired legs, should it? And then we've got a week off next week as well. So it's basically, you got a free hit.
I'll go with the same team. And then, you got still a lot that, we were allowed to bring on Neto and Hwang, on Saturday. And and Hwang probably should have scored as well. But to bring those two on is, got real strength.
Right, though, for that chance, apart from the finish.
Yeah, I thought it was in. I had just a slightly difficult angle seeing it, and I was just waiting for everyone to start celebrating. I couldn't believe it went wide. But yeah, the luxury of having these sort of guys to bring off the bench as well is going to be key, I think. But yeah, I think even the back five, I would keep the same team.
Yeah, there's different profiles as well. You can bring on like Neto's different to what we've got completely. I think he's probably our most direct forward out the lot. Hwang is still not convinced, but even like say if we're struggling, bringing on Ait-Nouri from Marcel, like kind of chuck the kitchen sink at it.
He likes Chiquinho as well. He said he was impressed with Chiquinho coming on because he just presses, and he's a really good player for that.
I think he's so eager though just to impress us, and he's obviously come from Estoril.
He was good. He was on good form at Estoril as well. He had a really good season for him, so he would have been on good form. So yeah, I think he deserves a little bit more chance in the first team. I think he's somebody probably more to watch for next year. Get a good pre-season on his belt.
So if say we get rid of Adama, bring Trincao and bring in another winger, would you send Chiquinho out on loan? I think I would.
Yeah, at that sort of age, you want them playing regular football. There's no good in him getting 5 minutes for the first team and then playing 23s football against Hereford under 23s or whatever, bollocks. So, yeah, you want him playing football.
You do.
Properly.
Right then, lads. We're going to do the quiz next. We're going on to questions to end the podcast with. It's different quiz this week. Instead of knocking off FB Ref, we've gone with a different quiz. So, we've got 6 players here. There's 3 players each. Now, you've got 30 seconds to guess the player and with yes or no questions. So you've got 30 seconds to ask the questions and even guess if you want, and then you'll have one guess once your time's up. Now, whoever's turn it is, if you don't get it, whether it's Fing who goes first, if he doesn't get it, Dave will then be able to steal by having one guess at the end. So, we'll start the running. If there's a question that I'm not sure, I will say not sure, because although my knowledge is good, it is still limited. I don't know what size shoe Bakary Saka is. So,
does it plays all from 2005? Yeah.
So it's 2005 onwards. Yeah. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put 30 seconds on the clock. So, Dave, you have 30 seconds to tell me who this Wolves player is, starting from now.
Did he play under Nuno?
No.
Did he play under McCarthy?
Yes.
Did he play for us during the Premier League with McCarthy?
Yes.
Was he at the club for longer than a season?
Yes.
Was he a midfielder?
No.
Attacker?
No.
Defender?
Yes. 10 seconds.
Was he British?
Yes.
Was he captain at any point?
Yes. Time's up. Who's your guess?
2 players there, isn't there? Premier, I should have asked the champion. I'm going to go with Jody Craddock.
Roger Johnson.
Hey,
where was my...
Oh, sorry.
I got the point to steal. Robbed.
All right, it's all right. I gave you a tap in there as well.
You can't steal on the next spot. Sorry,
that's fine.
You can't steal. Fuck me, I'm useless. Right. Finn Morris, you have 30 seconds to tell me who this Wolves player is, starting from now.
Did he play under McCarthy?
Yes.
Okay. Is he British?
Yes.
Is he English?
No.
Is he Scottish?
No.
Is he Welsh?
Yes.
Is he a midfielder?
No.
Not Dave Edwards.
10 seconds.
Welsh. Sam Ricketts is too late. It's not Sam. Was he a defender?
No.
Striker?
Yes.
Wayne Hennessy. Oh no. Oh.
Who's the striker? Wayne Hennessy. Cool.
No, I didn't get to this.
Right, you've got 2 guess.
McCarthy, Welsh. Sam Vokes?
No. Dave, I'm going to give you a chance to steal, but you're not getting
it. Welsh striker that's not Sam Vokes. Craig Davis.
It wasn't Craig Davis, no.
Oh, good shout.
It wasn't. It was Freddie Eastwood.
Oh,
Welsh,
I held his hand when I was mascot.
I would have said he was Welsh, to be fair. I didn't know who he represented.
I held Say Olifinjana's hand when I was mascot.
I was Gary Breen, Freddie Eastwood, and Carl Henry.
Right.
Oh, you're just giving away all the answers.
Some may appear in this, some may not.
No.
Well, that's thrown it, hasn't it? That's thrown it. Right then, next question. Bash. And this does include players who have come on loan as well, by the way.
No problems.
Wonder why that is the next one.
Dave, as a party, you have 30 seconds to tell me who this Wolves player is I'm thinking of. In 3, 2, 1, go.
Did he play under Nuno?
No.
Did he play under Zenga?
No.
Did he play under McCarthy?
Yeah.
Did he play in the Premier League?
No.
Oh, Championship. Was he British?
Yes.
English?
Yes.
Midfielder?
No. You got 5 seconds.
Attacker?
No.
Was he part of the title winning team?
He was 07-08. So they finished second. Did he finish? No. 7th. Missed out on the playoffs.
Okay.
Who's your guess?
So English defender or goalkeeper as well. Graham Stack.
Oh, fuck me. Yeah.
Oh.
What a shout that is.
No way.
What a shout that is.
Oh, yeah.
Right, let me just
Can't believe I caught that. Fucking hell.
Let me just get this season up here because I'm not sure how many managers were part of we had during this period. So
Graham Stack was part of the remember the crossbar challenge record we had? I think he had he got one of them.
Yeah.
I tried to search it on YouTube the other month and I couldn't find it.
right, this one's gonna be a fun one.
Good luck.
Finn Morris, you have 30 seconds to tell me who this Wolves player is I'm thinking of, starting in 3, 2, 1.
Did he play under Solbakken?
No.
Was he before Solbakken?
No.
Oh, yeah, of course he was. Did he play under Zenga?
Yes.
Did he play under Nuno as well?
Yes.
Is he Portuguese?
No.
Is he midfielder?
No.
Is he an attacker?
10 seconds. Yes.
No, he didn't play under. Right, okay, I'll just have to go with the guess now. Right, so he's.
At least you got the time's up. Who is it?
All that you did.
So it was an attacker that wasn't Portuguese under Zenga and Nuno.
Yeah.
So Bonatini was just Nuno. Non-Portuguese. Strikers Bodvarsson wasn't there for Nuno. Was Gladon still on loan when we had Nuno? Did we get rid of him? I don't know who to go for. Who else do we have that seat? Joe Mason. Was he still there with Nuno? Or could it be like Costa, who counts as an attacker, but he's Portuguese? I'm just going to go for Joe Mason. No, he wasn't there, was it? Yeah, I'll just go. Oh, yeah, don't worry, that's fine.
It was John Daddy Bodvarsson, mate.
Was he still there with Nuno?
Nuno was appointed on
31st
of May, so yeah.
I was going to go with
ruled him out.
There, so I'm glad.
Dicko and Nuno, yeah, good shout.
I didn't let Dave steal either, which is a bit shit of me. But we'll get there. We'll get there in this game. We'll get there. Right, it was two players left. Dave, you have 30 seconds to tell me who the Wolves player is I'm thinking of in 3, 2, 1, go.
Did he play before? Was he at the club before Solbakken?
Yes.
So play under McCarthy.
Not sure.
Before Solbakken, not sure. Play in the Championship.
Yes.
Premier League.
10 seconds. May have got a couple of caps. Not sure.
Defender,
No.
midfielder,
Yeah.
British.
Yeah. Time's up.
We weren't sure. Maybe got a couple of caps in the Premier League.
What was your question? Did he play under McCarthy?
Yeah.
When did McCarthy get sacked? Year was that?
February, whenever it was.
What year it was? 2012. So he would have been part of Wolves then. I don't know if he would have played or not, but he was. That's what Wikipedia saying he's
midfielder.
He
may have got a couple of caps, and he was British. He's not, but he wasn't British though. David Davis.
No, Finn. I'll give you one chance to steal.
Are we doing still? Is this fair?
Yeah, go on.
Last two.
Yeah.
I wasn't really listening because it was a British. Didn't think we were stealing. A British midfielder around that. Oh no, yeah, Carl Henry definitely played in the Prem, but just because you made the hint earlier, I'll say Carl Henry.
You going to be Carl Henry?
Yeah,
no, it's Jack Price.
Good
2011, his Wolves career started, which was a year before McCarthy got sacked. So,
yeah,
cool. Dave, it's your last chance, mate.
Spin.
Oh, my game.
Spin.
Fuck, mate, I'm useless to this. It's a great concept, but we'll get there. I think you've got 30 seconds to tell me who the Wolves player is I'm thinking of, starting in 3, 2, 1.
Did he play under Nuno?
No.
Did he play before Nuno?
Yes.
Did he play under Solbakken?
Yes.
Was he Icelandic and have great hair? Oh.
No.
Was he a defender?
No.
Was he a midfielder? Was he a winger?
Seconds. Yeah, a winger.
Was he English?
No.
Was he from Africa?
Yes. Time's up.
Oh.
There's only one in my head.
Well, say it then, bro.
Oh, no, but where was Bakari from? What a baller. Did he ever play, though? So we've got Sacco, Bakari. That's it, innit? African wingers under Solbakken. Sure. So 50-50. This is for the win, because are we on 1-1 as well? So Dave can win.
Is it 1-1? Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
I think so.
I get Bakari's funnier. You've gone Bakari. I'm going to guess Bakari.
It's Razak Bakari.
Yeah, it's
good. What a baller.
I enjoyed that. It's
the time, adding the time constraint really, yes.
It's hard for me. Like, I'm trying to think what managers were playing when. It's going to move on to the questions now. We had a run through it before with a couple of players, and before we were going to do it where it's just 5 questions and that was it. You got a guess, but it was a little bit difficult. So let us know how you got on at home. Did you get all 6? Could you have hosted it better than me? I presume so. Moving on to the questions on Twitter now, lads. So Andy Hipkins, friend of the show, has asked, does a difficult conversation need to be had in relation with Raul taking us to that next level? Could be an unpopular opinion, but 30 years old and with understandably mixed to poor form, any half decent offer I would seriously consider. I'll ask Dave first before Finn starts crying. I'm very happy with that. But
I think we've discussed this a couple of times before on the podcast.
Yeah.
I think a lot of it does depend on our European qualification. I think, like you've said, and we've said many times, Matt, MLS is probably the most, logical destination for him next. I think next season he'll be a Wolves player, but beyond that, I'm not 100% sure. What we have to consider as well is his value. He's getting older. He's not scoring as many goals, so his value is slowly decreasing. And although not everything is money, obviously as a club, we're still going to want to try and recoup a decent amount. So I think he'll still be a Wolves player next year, but I think regardless, especially if we get into Europe in some capacity, I think another striker has to be bought. But I think with the direction Bruno wants to go in, another striker will probably be purchased.
Finn?
I sort of echo what Dave said. Yeah, that's fair. They seem to be wanting that extra striker that's the sort of more target man profile, don't they? From obviously the Kiefer Moore rumour. I really like that Onuachu rumour. 6'7", had a fantastic game at the weekend again. I've been keeping an eye on him ever since. Because that would be the ultimate target man playing in Belgium at the moment.
You sound like Raphael Honigstein, mate.
I don't really watch much European football, but
Newcastle.
as soon as Wolves were linked with this bloke and I saw a picture, I was like, oh my God, what a giant. So I'd welcome maybe that third striker option, especially if we get into Europe and we've got those extra games. That seems to be what we're going for with the next profile of striker that we want. But yeah, I think that's probably about right. How long has he got left on his contract? Has he signed another one after? Yeah. So he's probably 3. Has he got 3 left?
Let me double check for you.
2 left.
He's gone.
It's a difficult one, isn't it? Like
2025, I think he's got 3 left off the top of my head.
Yeah. So if he's got 2, coming like 2.5 now, then you have to start having those
contracts. He's got 2 years, I think, deal apparently, according to Transfer Market. I'm not sure how accurate that is. I've got a feeling it's 2025. He's going to be on some serious dough as well. Let's not forget that. He's
I'd obviously love him to stay. Yeah, he's the boy. But yeah, well, at least have a nice summer with him, I think, hopefully, on a pre-season tour.
2024, yeah. I don't think he's on a new... I thought he's on a new deal since being here.
Yeah, me too.
He has?
Oh, yeah, 4-year deal in 2020.
Yeah. So, 2024, 2 years left on his deal. You notice how we're having those conversations about Neves. Oh, he's only got 2 years, but no one's asked about him this. Odd. Zach's asked, do you think Semedo will regain his position when he's fully fit, or will Johnny start for the remainder of the season? We covered it slightly, but what's your thoughts, Dave? Do you think Semedo will get... I think he's going to rotate a bit, but...
Yeah, I'm not necessarily going to say Semedo's not going to play between now and the end of the season. I think, like you said, there will be rotation. You know, we've got rescheduled fixtures with the Man City game. Is probably going to be midweek again. And during May, it's quite a tight run of fixtures. So I think, you know, there'll definitely be rotation. I think a lot of people want to try and see both of them in the team. But Johnny looks good at right wing back, doesn't he? Looks like he doesn't want to give that place up. So right now, I think it's just one of those, you know. Unfortunately, due to injury, Semedo lost his place. He's going to have to wait for a break or work extremely hard to try and win it back.
Finn?
Yeah, the only other option is swapping Johnny over, isn't it? But I think it's completely different style of game for him then. So I'd like to see maybe Johnny and Semedo, especially if he's not fancying Aït-Nouri and Marçal is quite limited going forward. But at the moment, you couldn't drop Johnny, could you? So until he has a stinker, I don't think it's fair to drop him.
GM Dub has asked, is Trincao and Pudge a more realistic swap for Adama than just Trincao? Personally, I think they'll want just Trincao. I think I don't think they'll do both of them.
I don't understand how that would be more realistic. More realistic would be just Trincao in it, because for Barca, even if they sell Ricky Pudge for a 5 million or whatever, they're making £5 million more. So yeah, I think just Trincao is fine anyway, based on what we were talking about earlier. Yeah, I think that's probably the most realistic.
Do you think Fabio has done enough to, and this is from Liam Jones, do you think Fabio has done enough to warrant starting even when Raul's back from suspension? Personally, if he plays well against Newcastle, yes. Then about you boys?
Finn?
Yeah, is it Brighton the game after, or Burnley? See, I don't know whether I'd want him in for Burnley. I want to keep him protected. But yeah, it all goes, as bad as it sounds, it can't all be down to one game, but it probably is down to the Newcastle game, how he plays. And if he scores a goal or whatever, you can't drop him, can you? So let's hope he just doesn't get the Otasawi treatment at Burnley away if he does earn that start.
Got a few questions about whether 8th place will mean European qualification.
No,
that's another pod. We tried to work it out last night. It's not clear. As per UEFA, it says that ordinarily, only 7 Premier League teams can qualify for Europe. Ordinarily. So to me, that says if you're a big club, you haven't qualified and you finish 8th, in you go. But what it does mean is that if West Ham win the Europa League and Leicester win the Conference League, for example, but still finish below Wolves, it wouldn't jeopardise 7th place, apparently. So will 8th place mean qualification? Not sure, but 7th will, as long as Palace don't win the FA Cup. So if you're not going to renew your passport, just wait a little bit. What someone's asking here, Evan McDonald, is Neto going to PSG? Is that why we're being linked with St. Maximin? There's so many St. Maximin questions, and I feel like it's pure fabricated nonsense at the minute. But can you see Neto going to PSG?
No, not yet, at least.
No.
Why are PSG going to want to spend? Well, let's say Wolves want 50 million. Why are PSG going to spend 50 million on someone that's just come back from a long-term injury and started about 3 games?
Yeah.
So Maximin, there's a reason why I've not posted it on Talking Wolves yet. So.
He just wants a new deal, and he's using Wolves, in my opinion.
Yeah. I know, I post Calcio Mercato and stuff, which isn't a reliable source at all. But 90 min, trust me. Yeah, 90 min is not a reliable source. So a few people sent that to me today. 90 min and what's the other one? Team Talk. Yeah, I wouldn't trust them.
Wank. Thoughts, Finn? Neto to PSG and St. Maximin to Wolves?
No, you can't be, at least the Neto conversation, you can't be having that until at least end of next season, can you? Until he's got a season under his belt of performing like he did. As in, for PSG's sense, why would you sign him when there's maybe not question marks about him at the moment, but as in, we haven't seen how he's going to respond to that injury. He's looked okay, hasn't he? But not for a side like PSG, that's their only goal is to win the Champions League and we need the best of the best. Why you'd go for a guy that's, as you say, just come back from a long-term injury. So maybe we'll be having that conversation next season, but not now. It wouldn't make any sense for either.
He'd look good in the PSG kit, though, wouldn't you think?
Oh, he would, mate.
Fantastic.
Yeah. Maybe just make it happen just for that.
Like white and pink Jordan kit or something like that.
I'd be all over that. That'd be up in the room.
Gymnasium, great name, has asked, what are our thoughts on NFT, which is Neto, Fabio, and Trincao?
Oh my word! I like that.
Just for that.
There's something there.
Non-fungible token, but Neto.
I thought, we were going to have a little crypto chat or whatever. Then I was a bit worried. Like I said earlier, I liked it. I think there's 3 players there that want to, are exciting players, a lot of flair. Just need to Rick. Just got to start sticking the ball in the back of the net a bit more. Have a little bit more confidence when they're in front of goal.
What's your thoughts on NFT?
NFT.
It would be nice to have like an SAS, like Sturridge and Suarez. We haven't really had have we had a what do you call that? An abbreviation strike force?
Yeah, Dicko Phoebe Sacco, sad.
I think of another one with the current squad. We've got enough attackers.
NFT, I like that then.
Yeah, it just sounds, even if the players weren't good, even if just the
Jimenez and Jota, J&J. No.
Yeah, no.
Anyway, Rich T91 has said, "Can Dave say Villa are gash?"
Rich T. Villa are gash.
Really love it. Absolutely love it. A couple more questions. There's so many about Alan St. Maximin. He seems to be a real favourite. But this one comes up every week and we don't answer it because we always say the same thing. But Sam Hudson asked, if we were to sign one big name player reasonably priced, who would it be? Dave?
Realistic or what?
Yeah.
I don't know. Darwin Nunez.
Oh, nice. I actually like that. I write that. I was going to say that myself, but I won't. Finn?
Yeah, I like that. He's just scored against Liverpool tonight as well. So that's another 10 million on the price. In my head, next season, as I mentioned before, if we kept Neves, I like the 3 in midfield of Neves, Gibbs White, +1. That would be like a Renato Sanchez. So that would be one. Then if you led to that 2 up front, I think Nunes would work well in that. Even like a Rafael Leao, maybe someone like, if we're going realistic, we're basically thinking Portuguese, aren't we? So he'd be nice. Between Sanchez and Leao, one of those should be lovely.
Saw the links this week for me, and my eyes lit up. Sad that it could be because Neves is leaving, but Mateus Nunes at Sporting. I mean, I think personally, I've watched him a few times this year. I think with the right coaching, he's still a young lad. I think he could be an excellent footballer. And I mean, go to Wolves, have a couple of good seasons, and go off to play someone else. I think he could be that good. He's got a bit of everything. Bit of a not a big bloke, but physical, and also goes past players as well, and just all round good player. I'm not really asked about Pena. I think that ship sailed, but for me, it would be Nunes or centre half, someone like Badiashile, maybe. Someone like that.
Osama do Badiashile.
Oh dear. That's it.
That Nunez. Sorry, that Nunez knocked me out the Champions League on Football Manager with Tottenham. I've been taking note ever since. Yeah, with Grasshoppers, I'd finally got to the knockouts, and he basically scored 2 goals and knocked me out, basically. So, always had a grudge against him, but he was a future stars on FIFA this year, which means get him in.
Could he be the next Cavani
from midfield?
What? Oh, he's all about Mateus, not Darwin.
No,
sorry. Yeah.
Oh, you said Nunes.
Oh, there's 2 Nunes. Oh, we can't sign both of them.
Yeah, Mateus Nunes and Darwin Nunes.
Oh, we can't have both. Is one with an S, one with a Z though?
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure.
With an N.
I meant Nunes with an S, the port.
They call him Darwin. Let's call him Darwin.
We'll call him
midfielder one.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, maybe not if he's from Portugal. From Brazil.
Although he was Brazilian at the start of the season.
Yeah. He's Brazilian?
Yeah. Oh, is he? His FIFA card changed from Brazil. It's just gone to Portugal now.
Yeah, but he's born in Rio de Janeiro.
Yeah, but he's Portuguese into this Brazilian.
Otavio's just done the same thing as well, hasn't he? They're all swapping.
Yeah, Otavio, whatever his name is.
Oh, that's enough chat about Brazilians getting a little bit excited. Dave, where can people find you? Should you wish? Should they wish? Should you wish? God.
Yeah, at Dave as a party on Twitter. My Instagram is now public if you wish to follow me on there as well. Same name.
I've gone private. We're in shifts.
Yeah, we're in shifts, yeah. So I had like 60 follow requests and I thought, go on, let's open it up for the crowd, for the fans.
Love
that. There you go.
Finn,
at David's party.
Finn, where can people find you? Is there a new vlog out for the Villa game?
There is. The key is, Dave, have one public, one private with Instagram. That's there. That's what
I've got for Twitter.
Charlie, mate. Big time Charlie.
Yeah, but then the problem is that because Darcy's public and then they found my private one. So I have over 500 follow requests on the private one. So that's mostly
proud to announce that I am followed and following the private Finn Instagram. And it's well worth the money. Well worth the money.
I'll come in at you.
He's not uploaded for 4 years. Well worth.
Yeah. But yes, there was a Villa video. FINERRZ YouTube. No. Yeah, that was right, wasn't it? Double R, yeah. Instagram, Twitter, YouTube. Thank you all very much.
I am M Cooper Wrights on Twitter, M Cooper Wrights on Instagram if you're asked, but you might have to request to follow me. I may go public after this. Matt Cooper Bites on YouTube. And of course, guys, don't forget to get on Betmate before, what time's the kickoff? 7:45 on Friday. 5 minutes before kickoff for the Betmate pot. It's Newcastle versus Wolves. £3 in. For your chance to win a share of £200. It's Wolves versus Newcastle, head-to-head. And hopefully Dave and I finish above at least one of the Magpie Channel boys, because I really don't fancy sitting on the next podcast in black and white, even though it may make me look a little bit slimmer. In true YouTuber royalty, Dave, can you sign out the show?
Certainly can. Big thanks once again to Betmate, like Matt said. As always, guys, if you're watching on YouTube, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. If you're listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, please leave us a 5-star review. Big thanks once again to Wolves Radio for hosting part of our podcast. But until next time, guys, fingers crossed we see Wolves get a win at Newcastle, and we'll see you all very, very soon.